Hey there, Coach Rob here. This series of videos is helping you get onboarded with heart rate variability, stress management coaching, however we're using it with your context, and will help to take better quality readings, understand some of the items that we request in order to gather more reliable, comparable readings over time. And then also a few videos walking you through the app, showing you how to and where to go um, to do some of your settings in order to execute some of these things we'll talk about here. So with this, minimize down a little bit. So you may have read some on heart rate variability already if we've sent you some links to understand what HRV is in concept. But basically, kind of following along the slide, HRV is an amazingly powerful but also easy access biofeedback and health mechanism or indicator. But as powerful and as easy to use as HRV is nowadays, because it's been around since the early 1950s, it's equally as easy to use it incorrectly or in a manner or take the data in a manner that skews your measurements where it's beyond useful. It's much like blood work, which is highly touted for its accuracy and reliability. I mean, it's unquestioned. HRV is very sensitive to acute physical or physiological changes, such as your nutrition, sleep status, hydration, all those things that affect your blood, affect your vagus nerve, your central nervous system, and they're going to have effect on HRV. As a matter of fact, it'll indicate on HRV before it does blood work, by the way. But unlike blood work, HRV goes further. It's also very sensitive to acute biological conditions, physical conditions, and mental processing that you have going on in your body as well. So it's really vital and super specific that we collect HRV data under repeatably consistent conditions. Now, one thing a lot of people don't understand is the body is in a constant state of flux, responding to continuously variable stressors and recovery efforts inside your body. So any one reading should be different than any consequent or prior reading. Um, so one individual reading is going to indicate where you are at that instant in time. Consequently, HRV measurements can be skewed and not capture your normal state because it's going to be indicating based on your overall conditions at that time of the reading and the conditions under which it's taken. So our job here is to minimize all the confounding factors that could lead to misleading results and getting that context under which it's taken consistently and almost inconsiderable, so it's the same in each time. That way we know that your reading this morning compared to yesterday morning is an indication of your overall condition. And that's going to be the consummate math equation of all the stresses added to you and all the recovery efforts you've made in the last approximate 24 hours. That makes it trendable, and that also helps to analyze it. So performing repeatable, consistent measurements as much as possible is going to allow us more accurate and relevant trend comparisons to help you analyze your data and lead to health and important decision making guidance of all the things we're working on. So here's a list of things that are critical to accuracy. First and foremost, body position. All right, supine is the position called, when you're laying on your back. That's the starting position that we need to be in when we're doing HRV as far as your morning readiness. It's the norm and it's where we'll start. There's other positions such as sitting or standing, which we may get into. It's going to be based very much so on your resting heart rate and your cardiovascular conditioning. For those of high level cardiovascular conditioning or very low resting heart rate, we need to put more stress on the body. So we would take you up to a seated position. And if that's going to be you, then we'll coach you through how to do that in a repeatable way, because seated isn't necessarily just repeatable by itself. So that's something we'll get into, but as a norm in the beginning, you'll be laying down on your bed on your back. Second critical thing is body movement. You have to lay there restful and still. Any body movement you're activating muscles. That's the central nervous system going to work. You're going to get a fluctuation in your reading, and that'll be a false indication of where you are. It's simply an indication that you're moving. So, but you'll be laying on your back, and you'll need to be still physically. Mindset, mental processing is another huge impact on your HRV. So we want to be in a rested, calm state, quiet room, and have your mind as quiet as possible. So what that means, a lot of things I've experienced over the years, people watching the news, processing and thinking through what their day is going to be like and what's coming at you, all the things that are stressful or whatever that hadn't, your pet laying on you, petting your pet, playing with your pillow, all that type of stuff. None of that. Be still, be quiet, be absent from any interruptions. All those types of stuff is going to allow us to see the true you. Now, time of day matters also because there is a truth to circadian rhythms. It has a very strong influence on HRV. So we want to be taking the reading at approximately the same time every day. Doesn't have to be identical, but if you're within plus or minus half hour, within a 1 hour window, that'll be sufficient for accuracy. Also, activity. So the primary thing for morning readiness is we want to be taking it right when we wake up in the morning. So optimally, you wake up, you roll over, you put on your heart strap, you lay there and breathe a few minutes to relax. You turn on the app, you start your morning readiness, and you take it. But so what happens if you're thirsty or you've got to take a bathroom break? Then no sweat. You get up casually, you walk over, you go to the bathroom, you get a sip of water, you lay back down, you put your heart strap on, you lay there and breathe until you relax, and then you take your reading. But activity does matter. So you're not going to get up and exercise, eat breakfast, or have some coffee, watch the news. You want to get your HRV morning readiness in prior to doing on any of those things for the day. Breathing. Use a normal standard breathing pattern. Don't even think about your breathing, just breathe. If you're trying to do any type of paced breathing or deep breath exercises or things like that, you can do that prior to or after the morning readiness, not to a significant degree to affect it, but not while you're taking your morning readiness. Signal quality. This is something, if you're watching your screen, you may see at the time, but at the end of the reading, you'll notice because Elite HRV gives you an indication of your signal quality. There's a couple of different states of signal quality, but basically it's an indication of how clean or how true or accurate, reflective of your reading is. Any variances or things like that, they're called ectopic beats. They're called artifacts. They get corrected. Avoid all that type of stuff. Basically, if you come up with a good indication, you're good to go and you're fine. If you come up with a red indication, which is probably poor, you might hopefully have time to delete that reading and take another one because it's not going to be very accurate or reflective of where you generally are right now. If you get a yellow one, have a conversation with us. If we get a lot of yellows, then yeah, we're going to need to investigate and troubleshoot and get that fixed. If you just get one off once in a while, and the percentages are low, like I think it triggers at 10%. If you're at 11 or 12%, that might be worth saving and going on with your day. But pay attention to your signal quality. Equipment. You need to be using the same equipment all the time. You don't want to be switching between straps or straps and wearables and different types of devices because they all gather the data at different frequencies. So you're going to get different data sets. And in math, it matters, all those data sets, when you start doing those statistical calculations. So use the same strap and the same phone app, all that type of stuff, as you go through and do your readings. And when the battery starts to die on your strap, working with us, it's probably a polar strap. Then you'll notice that readings will become a little erratic. You'll need to replace your strap. By the way, one thing you're going to want to do is, you can see here on mine, let me pop this up large real quick. When you're not taking a reading, unsnap your strap, because when this is snapped in, while it's not on me and I'm not using it, this is still draining the battery, transmitting the signal. But when you pop that off and I just turn it around. I leave one end strap so I don't lose it, but I pop that off, and then I just softly wrap it, and I store it like that. And I just recently, within the last couple of months, had to get a new one after about 8, 9, 10 years of use. So it can last a long time. Frequency of readings, very, very important. We want as many data points as we can get while we're trending over time. Morning readiness is intended to be a daily thing. So optimally, for best results, best analysis, best coaching, you're getting 7 out of 7 days every week. No one's perfect. Life isn't perfect. Things get in the way from time to time. You may miss a day. It's not fatal. You're going to lose that streak, which is for competitive people like me a big deal. But that said, 6 out of 7 days once in a while is okay. 5 out of 7 days once in a while is okay. But you definitely want to be getting 5 or 6 or 7 days out of the week every single week. My goal personally is 7 out of 7. I get pretty upset with myself when I miss a day. And it's usually because I got up to use the bathroom and went to feed the cat. And then, you know, the day gets going and then it ends up getting too late. And you're like, crap, it's too late. But other than that, we need the readings as many times as possible. And then reading duration. The app comes with a default setting of either, I think it's 2.5 minutes. We need to get the morning readiness reading up to 5 minutes, which is the maximum time. And the reason for that is we use power as part of our analytical tools. And for the low frequency, it takes a minimum of 4 minutes to get a sufficient number of data points for that statistical calculation to be valued or reliable. And then 5 minutes is it's just a few more data points beyond that. So it provides us a little bit more than just coming in under the gun. So 5 minutes is necessary for power readings to be effective. 2.5 works just for HRV and that type of stuff. So that's what we're looking for, to have repeatable, consistently repeatable and comparable trends over time. These are the things that need to be in place. Body position, be still, have your mind clear, same time of day, no activity prior to reading, breathing normal, check your signal quality, be using the same equipment, get as many readings, as many days started with HRV as possible, and then setting your duration to 5 minutes. And one of these consequent videos following up will give you the information on how to do that. So thank you very much. Appreciate you watching this and continue on. Please remember, message us if you have any questions or need any help. We're here to help you really be underwhelmed with this entire process. So thanks again. And Coach Rob out.